Hey, this is getting good again. It's talking about the Illuminati and the Jesuits and Freemasonry. Just thought I'd make another little quick part for you guys if you didn't get enough the first one. Alright, here it is.
High Masons apparently revered the serpent symbol in what might be considered worshipful awe. Thus the name of their ancient cult, which William Cooper refers to as the cult of the snake or dragon, a serpent cult which was very active among the ancient Gnostic, serpent cults of Pharaoh Egypt. Even General George Washington was a member of the Stone Masons Guild early on. However, when he learned that it was being infiltrated by the Bavarian German Illuminati, he left the lodge. This infiltration was also confirmed by the presidents of Yale and Harvard universities, who discovered that two fraternities, Yale's Skull and Bones, and Harvard's Scroll and Key, had been infiltrated by this German occult lodge in an attempt to gain highly educated initiates who would be used to carry out their future plans for world control, plans which included the destruction of nation-states to be replaced by a world dictatorship, which they called the New World Order. There are even allegations that Skull and Bones grads helped to finance the Communist and Nazi parties for the Illuminati's Machiavellian world scenario, which included the orchestration of world conflicts, pitting various nations or factions against each other, for the purpose of eventually beating the nations of the earth into a global dictatorship or New World Order synthesis. If this report is beginning to sound like an over-budget spy movie or a science fiction thriller, then, as they say, you ain't seen nothing yet. The Knights of Malta and the Club of Rome are also, according to conspiracy researchers, players in the endgame, in which the meek of the earth are the pawns. Both have advocated genocide to curb the population problem, since a true world socialist dictatorship can only survive if the population is kept to a controllable minimum. The KOM and COR are essentially outward arms or branches of the Illuminati, according to many. There are even rumors that tunnels and catacombs beneath Rome connect, or at one time connected with others beneath the island of Malta, and that a similar subterranean system utilized by the Western Illuminati exists beneath Washington, D.C. as well. In fact, Dr. John Coleman, in his report, Freemasonry and the One World Government, CO World Intelligence Review, Post Office Box 507, Chalmette, Louisiana, 70044, wrote before the AIDS threat became widely known among the public, that a secret society equivalent to today's Illuminati believed that it was their duty as the self-anointed gods over humanity to keep the population of the world from getting out of control, so that they could be more easily controlled. These ancient alchemists, Coleman alleges, were responsible for the Black Plague and other scourges which killed millions. He was convinced that they were preparing to wipe away millions more through viral warfare. According to Coleman, who claims to be an ex-intelligence worker for the British government, who defected when he learned the horrible truth, the Illuminati consists of the dual lodges of Jesuitism and Freemasonry. He also documents all manner of infiltration of religious, political, and economic movements by the Illuminati of Jesuit Freemasonry, as well as their seemingly endless manipulations of the nations by their behind-the-scenes orchestrating of economic turmoil, revolutions and wars. In 1988, in apparent confirmation of this, a former high-ranking military officer by the name of F.P. Farrell, Lieutenant Colonel retired, USAF, released a disturbing report to several patriot organizations which alleged this very thing. Lieutenant Colonel Farrell was a first lieutenant, captain and jet fighter pilot in Korea, and a lieutenant colonel and air liaison officer, 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One, in Vietnam. In essence, Farrell accuses the United Nations as being a Trojan horse cover for world socialist revolution, which intends to weaken and eventually destroy the independence of the American Republic. Farrell accuses the UN of being a socialist communist-controlled organization, and names at least 13 United Nations Secretary-Generals who have been communist nationals. It was decided long ago, Farrell states, that no one who was loyal to the U.S. Constitution was to ever be UN Secretary-General. He also provided documentation that the United Nations police action into which young Americans were drafted betrayed the American troops at every turn, by intentionally leaking U.S. battle plans in both the Korean and Vietnam wars to the communists. This is why, he explains, both of these no-win wars were lost to the communists. In relation to General MacArthur, who interesting enough publicly predicted that World War III would be fought against aliens in space. Farrell states that, when General MacArthur woke up to the treason of President Truman and the Soviets in the United Nations, he made one of the greatest military performances ever ventured in modern warfare. His dangerous but magnificent military engagement and sea landing at Incheon on September 15, 1950, enabled his military forces to slaughter the communist forces, destroy the massive supply dumps, and put the Red Chinese, North Koreans, and their Soviet advisors on the run. MacArthur never asked for permission from the United Nations Security Council, Soviet generals in Czechoslovakia, to perform this secret military operation. MacArthur handpicked close and loyal military officers in doing so, and they kept the lid on the entire operation. Originally, our forces were to never win any battles as planned by the Soviet generals at the United Nations. But General MacArthur realized the treason and took positive action, not only to save the lives of his fighting forces and destroying the enemy in their supply dumps, but also creating the turning point of the Korean War with his success at Incheon. For this positive action, General Douglas MacArthur was relieved of his command of the United Nations fighting forces in Korea by the traitor President Harry S. Truman, who met with MacArthur on the island of Guam. MacArthur had figured out the whole picture of treason and had to be relieved of his job. Truman feared MacArthur so much that just prior to General Douglas MacArthur returning to the United States from Korea, the traitor Truman hid out at Camp David for over 3 weeks in fear of being arrested by General MacArthur, who was a 5-star general and in command of all military forces in the United States, the same man who had just saved the lives of thousands of their sons with daring military moves against the wishes of the United Nations Command, in routing the Red Chinese and North Koreans at Incheon, South Korea. Now you know the real truth as to what really happened behind the scenes during the Korean conflict between the traitor Truman and General Douglas MacArthur, the real hero. Robert W.
Alright, sorry I'm gonna end it there, but I love this stuff, man, and I wish I could upload it for you guys. It's in a weird format. I'm not that computer savvy, in all honesty, so I try to do stuff, and if it works, and if it doesn't, it's not like I can ask the computer why not. You know, I just don't know how to communicate with this damn thing. So anyway, be thankful for what you get, and I'm trying to make an effort here to let people know the stuff is out here. I don't even know the website that I got this at. I'm gonna have to try to find it. Oh yeah, it was aliendeceptions.com. I don't even think it says it here on his little picture there, but anyway, that's the point. aliendeceptions.com. If it still works, I'll have to check and put a link up if it does, so you guys can get to this stuff. Alright, peace out.